is Kate Valerio. You are listening to WUSB 90.1 and 107.3 FM here on the beautiful campus of Stony Brook University. And you're listening to SBU Community Corner and very, very distinguished special guests who happen to be sea wolves. And who also, well, I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Ryan, would you tell us who you are? You're returning here at WUSB.
Second time, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Ryan Famulari, class of '09.
And you are currently the director of?
Currently the director of our feature debut, Best Man.
Yes.
Which we screened at the Long Island Music Hall of Fame in Stony Brook Village last night.
Yes, it was quite an experience at Limehoff, as we call it here. And we also have another Seawolf here who happened to be the star and the writer, I believe, of the film itself, among many other hats.
Among many other things, as is usually the case with micro-budget filmmaking. Many other hats to wear. Yeah, my name is Anthony Famulari, Ryan's brother.
Yeah.
And it was an exciting screening to have it so close to home, close to where we grew up, spend so much of our lives. The movie is about leaving home in a lot of ways, so to be able to play it where we have so many family and friends was really special.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was very special for your audience. Some of them are Stony Brook alum and or linked to Stony Brook. And I was concerned because during the screening, I did make a bit of a noise in the background when I noticed during the film, very, very wonderful film, by the way, folks. What's the name of that film?
It's called Best Man.
There you go, Best Man. There was a Stony Brook. I won't say mention, but I will say, if you're going to see the movie, keep your eyes open because you can't miss it.
Little Easter egg.
You call it an Easter egg? And it wasn't, and as Ryan was saying before we started recording, it wasn't placed there deliberately, or it was just a part of our lives.
Right.
So
it was,
just
an
was an
background or set design or whatever it was. But it was very well placed, and several people in the room felt the same way I did. So hopefully we didn't confuse people. But Ryan, I'm going to turn to you and ask you what you did here at Stony Brook University that led you to being the director of Best Man.
My time at Stony Brook, I was a journalism major, and I think it started. The program itself started maybe the semester or two before I started.
Very new.
So it's pretty new. I had Howie Schneider, Marcy McGinnis, like great people there. So journalism. I also played on the football team, and just my whole experience here. You live across the street when you're a local kid commuting to Stony Brook, so often you're on campus, getting familiar with different clubs, different groups, and I think Anthony and I both together found our way to the TV station where we did the journalism stuff there for the news program. And we always loved movies growing up, but Stony Brook, I think, offered us the ability to explore and experiment with different things, different groups, different clubs, people, students. And sooner or later, we found, Anthony started in the theater program, and we found ourselves really attracted to this idea of, as journalism students, trying to, tell truth. But after a while, it's like, I kind of like this idea of just, filming things. So why don't we just make up our own stories ourselves? And so that kind of led, the long road to starting to make our own short films and stuff.
And with our theater department, which at the time back in 2008, 9, 10, I was a co-instructor with one of the programs. It was called Swallow This.
Yes.
And the students in the program would go to events and or first-year events, meaning, students new on campus. And rather than tell people what to do in a crisis situation, for instance, you have a roommate who you're concerned about, the theater group, known as Swallow This, would reenact a situation. And instead of telling students what to do, they performed as what to do. And it is a much more effective teaching tool. In your experiences here at Stony Brook, how did you get into acting here? Or did you get into acting here, I should ask?
I did get into acting here, essentially. I mean, I auditioned for, I think, one play in high school and didn't get the part. And then they did ask me afterwards, because the director was also my track and field coach. She was like, you want to be in what's called the chorus, which is essentially I was playing like trees and stuff in the background. But yeah, so for all intents and purposes, my acting career proper did start here. I had always been interested in it, and then just decided to sign up for Acting 101 and got into the class. Had a fantastic instructor, Val Lanscafro, and that was my first real exposure to acting, which is like a significant thing, because even if you're interested in it sort of in the abstract, actually doing it is a lot more vulnerable and scary than I mean, you just have to experience doing it. And Val created a great a great space for that. And then went on to continue taking classes. Deb Mayo was an instructor of mine, Nick Mangano. Yeah, getting involved with the Pocket Theater here was the first actual like play I ever did. The first time Ryan actually saw me acting.
Scary.
And yeah, then just took it from there. Just kept going with it.
And what year were you here at Stony Brook?
So I graduated in 2011.
Okay, terrific.
Yeah.
And Ryan, you were here till?
05 to 09.
Wow.
Yep.
Congratulations. It was a very great time to be here at Stony Brook University. Before we came on air, we were talking about President Shirley Strum Kenny, who has been known to tune in and be a guest on WUSB. So a shout out to her for her work here at Stony Brook.
Definitely.
So did you come to the program with a goal, or were you looking to find what you wanted to do for the rest of your life when you got here?
I certainly didn't come to the theater program with a goal. I came here like Ryan with journalism as the goal, and did take some journalism classes. But I had theater as an interest, and when I indulged that interest, it started taking over more and more of my time, to the point where I had to go have an academic advisor meeting, and they're like, you have been spending too much time in the theater and not enough time in the newsroom, as far as graduating on time. So I had to kind of get my hands around that. But no goal in mind, certainly. It was just discovery. It was just... it was really led by just a curiosity and a growing passion for it. So definitely no goal in mind. There's certainly goals in mind now as we continue our career and continue to develop. But yeah, it certainly started here as just feeling it out. And it was really a great space for that, because, as I mentioned, instructors, but also just the other people in my class, just making friends and just sort of bouncing off of each other and like trusting one another to be cool and stuff, and just figure everything out together. So yeah, no goal, just going with the flow.
Wow, good for you. Well, you certainly were someone who looked for opportunities without realizing they would be opportunities. I don't know how to put it any other way.
Sure.
And for Ryan, you were on our football team for a period of time, I understand.
Yeah.
And from journalism to directing, how did that redirect?
How did that happen? What happened in my life? Well, it's funny. So I brought up Howie and Marcy before. And so, one of my first loves is football. And when I found out, like, you know what, walking onto the Stony Brook football team as a backup quarterback, that's going to be as far as I go. I fell in love with the idea of maybe becoming like a sideline reporter. You're still connected to the game. You're kind of creating these narratives and all that. during my career in the journalism program, I really took a stab at trying to be an on-air personality. And then fast forward to the end of my career in the journalism program, we had these exit interviews, and with Howie and Marcy in the room, they told me, like, Ryan, you're great, work really hard. We think that you probably belong behind the camera.
Oh.
And like, they weren't wrong. So I had a horrible presence on camera. But I still love the whole idea. Back in the day, they would teach us to be a one-man band where you had to film, interview, create, write the whole script for your thing. So editing, yeah, all that stuff. So you really learned kind of the basics of like filmmaking. And so I really loved the whole thing. It just so happened that I needed to put someone else in front of the camera. And that someone else was going to end up being my brother, who he alluded to his first time in the Black Box Theater here. And it was scary for the whole family to go there. And, you're seeing your brother, and is he going to be good? Do we need to just kind of lie to him when he gets off the stage? I don't know. But all that stress was alleviated once the play started, A Sailor's Song. And I think all of us are like, whoa, he's actually pretty impressive. And this is coming from, people who are going to be pretty judgmental. Like, we don't want to sugarcoat it. Like, are you good or are you not?
Yeah, there might be ideas of families who are like, oh, only a face a mother could love kind of posture.
That was not going to happen.
No.
So he was good enough. And so I think from there, that was like kind of the pivot there of like realizing like, well, he's really talented and I like to do this filming stuff and I need someone to put in front of the camera because I can't be myself. So that kind of was the beginning, I think, the start of it all.
And it evolved into, well, the movie that I watched last night was extraordinary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I and again, as your audience in the Black Box Theater, I would not, puff it up to make you feel better. No, I might have canceled you as guests had it been, oh, I'm sorry, I have a headache kind of thing. But that said, it was extraordinary, and the audience response, in addition to the appreciation for the Stony Brook swag in the background, was, I guess, awe. All kind of wraps it up because we went into the screening knowing that this was a first feature film for both of you. And I think most of the audience has experienced seeing these first feature films. And you need an audience to react in a very natural way so you know how to move on and move forward effectively. There was no need for that last night. I would say without doubt 100% of the audience was engaged. They absolutely understood everything and were absolutely thoroughly moved by the movie. Without, of course, giving away anything, Ryan or Anthony, would you please share with us an overview or a synopsis of the movie?
Sure.
I'll let the writer speak.
I'll share the log line we've been going with, which is basically a struggling actor who's circling the drain of a failed dream, takes one last shot at greatness. And without sounding too self-deprecating, it's essentially kind of a semi-autobiographical story that I wrote. And when I say I wrote the first draft, then kicked that to Ryan, and then we both went back and forth with it for a while. But yeah, just to sort of continue the thread, after acting at Stony Brook in my undergrad, I spent a couple of years in New York City acting, and then eventually made the move to Los Angeles. And the movie sort of chronicles a section of time of if not exactly myself, a fictionalized version of myself in Los Angeles, pursuing acting and having been there for a while. So dealing with the struggles of being away from family and friends and not maybe achieving what you set out to achieve. We talk about what goals you have. This movie is all about having a goal, and then what do you do when you don't get it, and what are you willing to give to continue that pursuit? So yeah, we're happy that it's been resonating with people who've seen it, and hopefully we can get it out to more people, so more people can see it.
And getting it out to more people, how does that work? Does that fall on you or both of you? Well, I guess you're brothers.
Yeah,
It's the $1,000,000 question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
How does that work?
at this level, micro-budget film, everything kind of falls on you. And I think also in the landscape now, 2026, just to speak to what we know of independent film, no matter the budget, if you're an independent filmmaker, everything falls on you. And very much so, once you're done with the film, the job does not end. It is now figuring out, how do you distribute this? How do you get in front of the right people? Or just an audience at all? So, the easy way was we finished, we wrapped. You have the cast and crew, family and friends screenings. And then from there, you start submitting to festivals, which is like the tried and true way of trying to get your film out there in front of audiences. And now as we kind of reach the end of that, it's now a matter of finding local theaters and really, again, as two local boys here, two Stony Brook guys, very much trying to start like a grassroots effort of getting it in front of local people, Long Islanders, seeing if it doesn't resonate, New Yorkers going to LA and giving it their best and maybe coming home, maybe not, seeing if that resonates with anyone here. There's a little anecdote here, but going back to journalism, Howard Schneider used to tell us, when he was the editor at Newsday, that no matter where a story was taking place, the Middle East, California, China, Newsday was always going to send a reporter because there was always someone from Long Island a part of that story. And I think it just goes to show that, Long Islanders are like, going out there in the world and giving it their best. And, it's what we did ourselves. So hopefully part of, our film resonates with a lot of local Long Islanders in that way.
Well, it absolutely resonated with me, a former, dare I say, Los Angeles person. I survived out there. I had about a year and a half before I came back to New York. But yes, the story itself and how it is very well put together. There's no gaps. I am that person that's sitting in the theater getting annoyed midway because they forgot something. And how could they forget it if I can catch it, kind of thing. There was absolutely none of that. So for people like me out there, you will everybody will enjoy the film.
I think to that end, that's a credit to
editing,
Ryan. Well, because I write the first draft of the script, as I say, and then Ryan finds all those gaps, and he finds all of the the pressure points.
Yeah, we're very similar.
Yes.
So and also just speaking to the point of it being a very low budget movie, one of the things that you can control and get as much value out of as you can with a low budget movie is the script. We didn't have any deadlines when we first started making this movie. Eventually you have to impose some on yourself, but during the scripting phase, no deadlines. So we spent a while working on the script because that was free. And we just tried to get it to a place where we were happy with it. And I know how difficult Ryan is to please, so I figured, when he's happy with it, maybe it's, we have something here. So, that's what, that was the process there.
Well, as someone who has 5 brothers, it is quite a joy to see your interaction. You do almost feel what the other person is thinking. And it was interesting during the Limehoff, the Long Island Music and Entertainment Hall of Fame screening that took place in Stony Brook Village, to watch the interaction between the two of you. And it's also what enriches the movie itself. The actors and actresses, or is it appropriate to call everybody an actor now? I never know language.
I tend to do that just like reflexively. I don't know.
Yeah, me
Sure.
too. So so it's a
actors.
generational thing. I guess it's going the way of whatever. But how many actors and actresses were involved in the filming?
Oh, wow.
what's the
cast?
We have a
You had a large cast.
We have a document somewhere. I think including
Extras?
background.
Yeah.
Which for a movie like this, it's like we're not dealing with a ton of background, but we're dealing with enough people that it's significant. And also we're wrangling them. We don't have like a casting department who's handling this stuff. This was oftentimes me while we were like into filming, trying to cast background on like Craigslist the day before we're about to shoot a movie. And I will say, we did a lot of pre-production work on this movie, so I don't want to paint the picture that it was like we were flying by the seat of our pants, but that was one aspect of it, was the casting that turned out to be a much larger effort than I think we anticipated going in, because we had handled the casting in all of our short films. But to your point, this movie had a much larger cast. And I want to say we had about 60 cast total, including background.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where I think when you make a micro-budget movie, a lot of the conventional wisdom, which is often good advice, is make it 2 actors, 3 actors tops, set it in a single location, some high-concept idea. And I think we both love movies like that, but it just wasn't the story that we wound up wanting to tell with this particular movie. And we thought, yeah, this is upping the degree of difficulty, but this still seems doable. So yes, we had a lot of cast, and fortunately, we were really happy with everybody in the movie.
And it was only something as an afterthought. There weren't too many people. It was just that when we were discussing your budget, quite frankly, I was gobsmacked when you told us how much was invested in the film. And I'm going to let you discuss that, but in the past, I've been to screenings and I've been to student efforts, and this wasn't my first time with Q&A with filmmakers starting out. And I've heard budgets, as, dare I say, low as 100,000, 500,000. One student put together something for almost $1 million. And so, Ryan, can you tell us the total budget of your film, please?
So it was 20,000.
Wow, it's still unbelievable.
And I think like twofold as to how we were able to pull that off. Number one was we decided to film this during the double strike in LA.
Oh, good.
So just the timing was such that, no one was really working. And I think everyone wanted to. So not that necessarily we took advantage of it, but, there were a lot of people who were willing to maybe lower their rates to kind of get, out there and do something while, Hollywood was on hold. That is cast and crew alike. And then the second part of that, to keeping the budget down, was I think the really intensive pre-production where, we had scenes in acting studios, in acting workshops, at a restaurant, and we storyboarded this to the point where we knew exactly what extras we needed in the background for every shot, and there wasn't a matter of casting more than we needed. Pretty much, unless like you're in the way of someone, every single person who was cast in it is filling the frame at some point. Which, if you have crowds and stuff, maybe, you showed up on set and you're like, oh, I'm going to be in this movie. And then you watch the final film and you're cut. You didn't make the frame.
Gone.
But we were so meticulous with like exactly who we needed, where we needed them. Even the shots as well, knowing that we had to move quickly. Time is money everywhere, especially in filmmaking. And we had 12 days to shoot this. So we knew we had to make sure that like every shot was planned. We in the order in which it was like easiest to move around every location, because you have to set up the lighting and take it down and set it up again. So it was just a lot of pre-production, coupled with the fact that it was a double strike and people were looking to work. So I think that really helped us keep it to a point where it was ultra micro budget here. And also we were SAG approved. So, to be a micro budget film, you could only go up to 20K. So we've used every bit of 20K to still be, Yeah,
greenlit by SAG. Yeah, and to Ryan's point about the strikes, it was an interesting time. I mean, when I kind of took the lead on casting, and when I was posting the breakdowns on the various websites for the roles, I tried to make very clear, and still would get some kind of questions from actors back, but I tried to make very clear, we are greenlit by SAG. We have the paperwork. We're good to go, because some people would say like, oh, hey, is it okay that I'm doing this? But what wound up happening is people, I think, were pumped to be able to have an opportunity to still work and still create something during this time when so many people were just out of work and kind of bummed about it.
Just to explain that, though, too, because I know the answer, but many people don't. During the SAG strike, actors were not acting, right? And the only projects they could work in was stuff that was like kind of off the books or SAG approved, which was only micro budgets, which was what they were approving during the strike. So you couldn't work on a commercial set or for a TV show, a sitcom. That was all just non-existent. So really the only thing happening in LA at the time were these micro budget films. So that is why people were willing to do it, because they wanted some little source of income while everyone else was kind of shut down.
And when actors aren't working, nobody's working. So that also meant that we had some crew available to us, some excellent crew, and like people who were just, again, like really excited to be able to jump on board something, and also our cinematographer Henry Power, who we have to invoke every time we talk about this movie, because he's been working with us for years and years, and he's amazing. He helped us get a crew together for this movie, with friends and people he's worked with before, and people we've worked with before. And that's what you have to do with a budget like this, is people doing it for the love of the game. And it was great to be able to just get like a really close-knit, lean and mean crew on this movie. People who were happy to be able to get together and work on something. And look, the shooting only did last 12 days, so it was like a short 2 weeks, but an intense 2 weeks. But by the end of it, I was really happy that the crew kind of pulled us together. We're just like, hey man, let's have a drink. Like we're celebrating, because we were all just really happy that we pulled it off. No one knew yet how it would come together, but just getting to the end of the shooting of something that shoestring felt like an accomplishment in and of itself. So we were very excited about that. And then the real work began.
And editing, who was...
Yeah. We were the editors, yeah.
Right.
And we were on either coast, because I had moved back to New York with my wife. So Anthony was L.A., I was New York, and we would just kind of throw scenes back and forth. And
which helped. We essentially were able to edit the movie twice as fast as we would have been able to on our own.
Yeah.
And I have listened to artists as yourself who I asked this question of, because I don't know how it's possible for an actor to edit himself out. If the movie needs it out, but it's one of the greatest scenes you ever did. How do you find that in yourself to do?
Well, I'll tell you, number one, and it's very true, is just that's one of the great benefits of working with Ryan, is that he's a check on my acting, on my editing, on my writing, on everything, and likewise I am with him. That's just a very true point. Another point is, I personally think I'm pretty good at, like, once we get the last shot of the movie, I'm now Anthony the editor. And I think I will be sometimes I'll watch and go, dude, is that the best take we have of you? And it's me on camera, you know what I mean? So it's like, a big part of that is that we're very invested in this. I'm not just invested in this as an actor. I'm invested as a co-director, as a writer, as a co-producer. And I want this to be the best thing that it can be. And so if there's anything in the edit that's not working, we'll get rid of it. And I'm beholden to myself, and I'm beholden to Ryan. We're beholden to each other, and ultimately we're both beholden to just making the best thing that we can make. So that's I think what carries us through. Ryan and I talk a lot about art versus craft. You called us artists. Thank you. That's very flattering. I think we often think of ourselves as craftsmen in a certain sense too, and that really comes through in the editing process, because we are just trying to craft the best version of this thing. We put so much work into it, time and money. We owe it to ourselves, to everybody who worked on it, to just make it the best thing. It can't come down to one person's vanity.
and it's as a couple or a working pair, you do balance each other very effectively. And again, the film
hope so.
is very clearly demonstrating that. How would one see this movie?
That's the question,
Yeah.
right?
That's the question.
That's what we're trying to figure out.
How do well our listeners who now are incentivized to see it?
Well,
Where is it playing next?
Right. If they are so incentivized, then we would encourage them to follow at Famulari Films on social media, because that's where we will be talking about where to see it next. Because right now, we're looking for distribution. Right. That's the next phase of this. And you spoke about this as our first feature. It is. It's not our first movie. We've made a bunch of short films. We didn't go to film school, so short films are where we cut our teeth. And in a lot of ways, the feature was just sort of an expanded version of a short film. And in a lot of ways, it's something totally different. And this phase we're now in, the distribution phase, the phase after the making it and the editing it and even the film festivals, this is now a new frontier for us. So we're learning as we go as far as seeking distribution. And in the meantime, we're trying to get screenings like the Limehoff screening. We're trying to get local screenings. I'm trying to set up some screenings in Los Angeles. And we'll be talking about them all on social media, trying to get the word out. And also, like, we had Ryan and I both sat in for that Limehoff screening, and it was fun seeing it with a crowd. There's some laughs and some moments that are fun to experience with an audience. And so certainly we hope to eventually get some streaming distribution. But in the meantime, to be able to have people get to see it in a theater with a crowd is exciting to us. And so we hope that people will heed the call when we put the word out that we've got some screenings coming up.
And you have been acknowledged here on Long Island with some awards. Ryan, would you care to share?
Yeah, sure. So last week, we were part of the first ever Long Island Cinema Festival, which was a really cool, again, moving back from Los Angeles to New York. The idea was, why do we have to be in LA to do this? Can we not come back to New York? And I think last week was really a testament to the fact that there is a community here. Shame on us, but can we go back there and can we make our community? It's like, no. There's been a community here thriving for some time now. And just to go to that festival, be a part of it, be embraced, meet all the cool people, the great artists there, was really special. And then, it all culminated in the awards ceremony, and we won, our first awards for this thing, Best Feature, and Anthony won Best Actor, which is really heartening.
Congratulations.
So yeah, overall it was just a great experience and a great kind of way to kick off this endeavor of, just adding ourselves to the community, the filmmaking community here on Long Island, just in any way possible. Whether that's, you go to networking events and, it's not like, hey, you want to be in my next thing? It's really more kind of giving than that. It's how can I help you guys, with your next feature? Is it holding the boom? And so you just go there with kind of open arms, open hearts, and really trying to just foster really good relationships. Because I think that, at the end of the day, is what filmmaking is, which is why I'm so attracted to it. Again, Anthony always rolls his eyes when I go back to football, but football to me is like the ultimate team sport. It takes everyone. You got it. The fullback's got to block the defensive end, come off the edge so the quarterback could get the ball to the receiver. The same thing is with filmmaking. Everyone's got to be there, all working for the same goal. And I think now we're learning the same things with the community here. Everyone's working for the same goal, just to kind of make the best film that Long Islanders can make. So it's just really special and cool to be here, and then be recognized last week was nice.
Well, it was an honor to invite you back to our campus and to WUSB back in, I believe it was September.
Yeah, I think so.
Because you were part and parcel of an award that we received here at Stony Brook University. We were recognized for our partnership with the New York Blood Center. And thanks to students like both of you for organizing over a number of years blood drives here on campus. But, very proud to share that both of you are part of the community of Seawolves. 36,000 of you people out there who have donated blood over the 20-year partnership. So you were gracious to accept the invitation, not only then, but to come back here. And again, you are now major figures in the film industry. You're laughing, but 'tis true. 'Tis true. And you were gracious, like President Goldsmith, to accept an invitation to come to WUSB and share your experiences. So,
Well, please, thank you for having us.
thanks.
well, please, it's
honor's
quite
ours.
an honor, and especially knowing you for so many years, but coming to know Anthony as well, and your accomplishments. It's great to be able to invite you back home here to Stony Brook. I'm hopeful that in, I guess the next film festival we host here on campus, perhaps you'll put your film in for consideration.
We would love to do
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh, yes, Dollar Center has a film festival, yes?
Yes. Yeah.
we played a short film there.
Oh, you did?
A few years ago, and it was an amazing experience. Amazing. They put on a fantastic program. We were treated very well, and again, as we keep coming back to, being Stony Brook guys, playing a Stony Brook festival we had gone to as just audience members, was really, really exciting. So yeah, we just love that that Stony Brook has a festival, and such a good one. It's a really exciting part of the Long Island filmmaking community that Ryan's talking about.
And for those out there who are considering a career, Ryan, I'll start with the director and are you co-writer?
Well,
We're both doing so much.
Yeah, we're doing so much, but like he gets the full credit. But sure, I played a little part, but the thing is his, the baby's his.
Yeah. What would you recommend for someone who's tuned in?
Yeah, it's a good question, because I think, when we started in the industry, because our background is animation production, when we started, it was the height of streaming, and it seemed like we went to LA and everyone and their grandma was getting an animated show greenlit. Everyone was getting a show greenlit. And then, COVID happened. And then all these studios found out that they were spending too much money on all this content and they weren't getting the ROI they wanted. So it's like a really hard time right now, I think, in the industry. But I've come to learn this for myself. And again, Anthony always says, we can only speak to our own experience. But I do think it's important, and I think we say so in the movie to a certain extent, that if you're really passionate about this, don't put a time restraint on yourself. Don't tell yourself like Anthony's character in the film, spoiler alert, but his brother says hey, you said if you weren't a working actor by the age of 30, you'd come back home. Well, what are you working on? Well, I think it's important that if you're passionate, don't do that to yourself, because there are so many factors, whether it be a global pandemic or, heads of studios making bad decisions. It's really hard to know when your opportunity will come. So just put your head down, work really hard, and get a 9-to-5 that can hold you down, that can pay the bills. Just make sure, get a job. And I don't think that takes away from the passion that you give to your real baby on the quote unquote side. The job, the 9-to-5 could be the thing that you clock in, you clock out, and that's it. And all the rest of your time is being put towards that passion that you have. So that is my biggest thing, is everyone has a dream when they're young, and I'm just going to put everything into it. But it's a marathon, not a sprint. Maybe you do hit it at 24, or maybe it takes you until you're 67. But just give yourself that runway to just let it the journey unfold as it has to unfold. So get the 9-to-5.
And for your advice, get the 9-to-5, or
Well, I will say,
Anthony,
so I
yes.
moved out to I'll say when I graduated Stony Brook, immediately started auditioning and doing everything you do when you're trying to be an actor, getting the headshots, going to classes in New York. And what else do you do when you're an actor? You wait tables. So that's what I was doing when I was in New York. Then I moved to LA, and I did the same thing, and I did it for years. And I had some really cool experiences. I booked some cool jobs. I met some great people, and eventually I decided, as fun as this is, and as it's also not fun a lot of the time.
yes, stressful.
And I eventually did decide to get the 9 to 5. And when I did that, it was like, okay, this isn't preventing me from doing what I want to do. It's actually enabling me to do what I want to do. It really freed me up to, well, number one, to financially support what I'd like to do, and also just to financially set myself up in a more stable way, just in general. But then also even kind of mentally, just the peace of mind you have knowing that you have something stable in your life that you can that's grounding you, and then you can use your free time to pursue your passions. That might not be the same for everybody, but for me, I found my greatest success and happiness as an actor and as a filmmaker once I started committing 40 hours a week to a desk chair. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's true. It's true. And
very practical.
So again, we can only speak to our own experiences, but as someone who kind of lived both, that's certainly mine.
And here at Stony Brook, for all those students that are tuned in who are looking for a future in the film industry, based on the path you have taken thus far, what would you recommend for a first-year student coming in?
I would say my number one piece of advice is to find your community. You're going to have strength in numbers always. One of the best thing I did in Los Angeles when I first got there, knowing really nobody. I mean, Ryan and I went out there together, which was huge. But essentially knowing nobody, the best thing I did was join an acting class. And it wasn't because it made me a better actor, although that certainly happened. It was because I met people who had similar interests, who had similar goals, and enabled me, and I enabled them to see those goals through and just create things together. So I would say to anyone interested in this, filmmaking, it's not something you can just like do by yourself, unless you're doing a very specific version of it, in which case Godspeed. But for most of us, it takes a team. Even for a micro budget movie like ours, where you're on a real shoestring budget, it takes a team of people, a team of good people. And get your at-bats. Find people, start making things, and you'll learn, oh, I work well with this person. Oh, I don't work quite so well with this person. And you're going to curate that community for yourself. And it doesn't need to be, neither Ryan or myself love the idea of just sort of, hey, going and networking and just schmoozing. That doesn't come naturally to us. But what comes naturally is just getting to work on something. And that's where you're going to make the most valuable relationships. So I know a lot of people think, oh, but I'm not sociable. I'm an introvert. I'm this, I'm that. Well, that's okay, as long as you understand that on a film set, you'll be interacting with people, and you'll have that natural glue there of the movie holding you all together. So do it. And I'll also say, like, neither Ryan or I went to film school. We learned a lot as we went. And we learned a lot, like, just from reading books and from YouTube and all that. And that's all great. And watching movies, certainly. That's all amazing. In a lot of ways, you can give yourself a free film school. You also have to know when to put the book down, when to turn the laptop off, and go out and do it, because you will just fill yourself with all of this endless content that's out there. Where people are making money off of you by selling this dream of a movie that you keep fantasizing about and are never actually making. We have met so many people who look at us and go, oh man, you guys, you did it. I've got this idea. Do the idea. Do it. It might not be perfect. In fact, it probably won't be perfect, but it'll never be anything if you don't do it. So find your community and then just go do it. Please.
Great advice. Thank you.
So wise.
Thank you very much. We were chatting before we came on air here, and as most out there in the world would be surprised to hear, the vast majority of actors, teachers, people that are out there in the public, for the most part, are introverts who had to work very hard at putting themselves out there or putting on the jacket of another person to get their message out. So thank you for doing that.
Sure, yeah. No, I'm not too far away from that myself. So it's just, I think that when you do stuff that you like, it energizes you. And so, everyone has their own version of what an introversion might look like. But I think for a lot of people, it's sort of feeling a bit low energy and withdrawn. I think you'll find that you're going to find that energy when you commit yourself to something, and when you're committing yourself to that thing with other people, it's just going to come a lot easier, and you're going to make great relationships that way.
Many have found a way because they found the passion, or
Right.
they found the message, or whatever it is that they want to get out into the world and change the world for the better. So thank you for doing that. And Ryan, getting back to transitional life for you, you're a dad.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
With the number 2 on the way.
Number 2 on the way. And what have you picked a name for number 2?
We have, but we got to keep it on the DL.
Oh,
If he has, I don't
Our
know.
parents are here. I can't say anything yet.
Yeah, no. I just had to throw that in here.
Trying to get the scoop.
Yes, I'm not a grandma yet. I'm really hoping. But yes, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Do you see there was a point in the movie where I thought I saw someone that looked familiar, and as the credits rolled, I did note your wife's in the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she's very integral to Best Man, to all of our filmmaking endeavors. Again, we're Irish Italian. I think family is really important to us.
God help you.
And
I say that as the Irish half of the Italian family.
there you go. But family is really important. I think family plays a big role in the film itself, the narrative, and in the making of it. My wife really helped out in many ways. Again, you wear so many hats, but in a marriage, also you help each other out, and your spouse takes on some of those hats as well. So she was a huge help. I know Anthony's fiance, she helped as well. So it was kind of an all hands on deck type of thing. Again, it just goes to the fact that the family's so important. The movie that tied in, it really does take a village, so they say.
And your parents, I've known your parents, not for a terribly long amount of time, but do you want to do a shout out to those wonderful people that brought you into the world?
Yeah, I mean, without them,
Yes.
we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have been to Stony Brook. We wouldn't have done all these cool things. We wouldn't have made a movie, for sure. Definitely not. Again, if family oriented, the film's about family, and it starts with the parents, and without them, none of this would have happened at all.
And they're also, given what the movie is about, certainly, and the lives we've lived, they've been really supportive, strangely supportive. And I say that just because they're both very practical people. They're both a elementary school teacher and a police officer, who don't know much about this industry that we've decided to commit ourselves
Well,
to.
Mom just told us she didn't know what a green room was. All these years in the industry, she had no idea what a green room was.
But how that manifested itself, I think, was unwavering support to this day, but also kind of a practical posture toward everything too. It's not like, well, do whatever is going to help you blossom into your best version of your dreams. It's like, if you want to do this, I'm totally going to support you. Basically, as long as I see that you're kind of working toward it. And I think that
Effort.
Yeah, I think that they have seen that, and I think that's, of course, there's a big dash of unconditional love and support there.
Oh, there you go.
But there's also certainly, I think part of it too is they see how we put ourselves into what we're doing, and even though a lot of it is sort of foreign to them, what's not foreign is just seeing the work that we're putting in.
And you moved out here to Stony Brook area in
1997. Yeah. Big year, I think summer. I just remember going to the movies a lot that summer when we moved here.
Good year.
Smith Haven Mall, which no longer exists.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's turned into Stony Brook.
Yeah, right. The Sears is now
It's a
the
health
hospital.
center. Yeah. We had one of the doctors that runs the cardiac clinic here on the air, another Ryan, former student of mine, and they're doing quite well servicing our community. And of course, my take on that was, well, good for cardio because they can park very close to where their doctor is versus the 5-tiered parking area by the hospital. So
That's true.
but a shout out to Dr. Ryan Heslin and all the great work that he's doing out there. So yeah, Anthony, shout out. Who do you want to shout out to?
I'll shout out to again the acting teachers that I had here.
Terrific.
Val Debnick, other people in the theater department. Walking around WUSB, of seeing Norm Pruslin's name all over the place.
Yeah,
I had a class with Norm, and really when I think about it, I guess I was really only with him for a semester, but he made a big impression. He's a throwback, and just a great energy from Norman, and knowing everything he's done for this campus community in Stony Brook is awesome. So it's great to see that his name is all over the place in this radio station.
And it deserves to be because
Of course.
WUSB is coming up to its 50th official anniversary, but Norm has been around and established the radio station here.
Yeah.
Even more than 50 years ago. Not that I'm outing you as somebody who might be in their 60s, Norm. But that said, yes, for attitude of gratitude, and the people you come across here at Stony Brook are very proud not only to support you both and your efforts, but to have you back at
Great to be back.
WUSB. And Brian, you're probably going to get stuck coming back again.
Yeah. Well, my wife and I moved back here. We live in the S section. We're right down the block, so we're just so happy to be back in a real way as part of the community.
Yeah, it was quite an honor to meet your wife. And congratulations on your July name to be advised another time.
We'll have a plane in the sky. We'll tell everyone the name at once.
Yes, I did. I'm known for not surprising people with questions, so I do apologize for that.
It's fine.
I couldn't have resisted. But who do you have as a shout out?
Well, so thank you, because I'm checking my list, and so we did parents, we did my wife, we even did Anthony's fiance.
Of course, I have to shout out my fiance.
Oh yeah, they are.
I thought I was going to be able to continue with my shout out list and finish on Kelsey as the grand finale, and she was our post-production supervisor on the movie too. She's a video editor.
Wow.
And so, as much as Ryan and I are all over the editing of the movie, we sometimes are lacking in the very specific technical aspects of certain deliverables when we're handing it off to a different vendor and things like that. And Kelsey is a lifesaver with just sort of bringing some professional acumen to that part of the job. And she's also in the movie as background, and she did a voice for us. So everyone's... Look, when you come into this family, we're putting you to work. So she was all over it, as was Ryan's wife.
Wow.
That being said, I think my shout out will be a place, a group of people, not necessarily just one, but to bring it back to Stony Brook community, and then kind of the emphasis that we put on in filmmaking. Stony Brook, Southampton, to me, was so vital and important to, I think, really the filmmakers we are today, and will continue to be important to us as we keep growing as filmmakers. But you go to a movie theater and you're watching a moving image with sound. But I think the most important thing when it comes to film is the screenwriting. And that, I was a student there myself, grad school, but Anthony would come out all the time and, grace us with his presence as an actor to be in things that we would write. But it was so informative. The little group of people we had there at the time, it was so much fun making short films over the summer. It was just so instrumental. We didn't go to film school, but to me, Stony Brook, Southampton was kind of that before we started making our own short films. But Stony Brook, Southampton was just fantastic. My favorite time being a student was out there writing with really just awesome people, really great creatives, really supportive people. So yeah, without Stony Brook, Southampton in our lives, I don't know necessarily we might not be as good as we are at the moment. So yeah, shout out to them.
Oh, well, I have colleagues and friends that are still actively engaged in the community out there in Southampton, and it is a thriving community of people who care about their students. It's quite a joy to see how that's grown, even since your time.
Yeah, sure.
And expanded and supporting the community. So thank you for that chat. I love it. It's great. So, Anthony, someone listening wants to reach out to you. They want to contact you. What contact information would you share for you?
They can reach my people, and I will have my people get to me. No, I
love that.
Yeah, well, I mean, as I said before, Ryan and I are going to be active with our social media at Famulari Films, where we're going to be posting a lot of stuff. I'm on Instagram at Anthony Famulari, and we're very gettable on there, and we want to be, because as Ryan has been stressing, we're excited to continue to integrate ourselves into the local film community. We were happy to be starting our filmmaking journey out in LA and met some amazing people that we continue to work with and continue to have great relationships with. I think there's something particularly special about doing it back home, and being a part of, as Ryan said, a film community that has existed for a while, and we just want to be a part of growing it even more. And so it's like, yeah, obviously making the movies is the number one thing, just making the best things you can, but also trying to make a film community and grow that is something that I think we didn't really consider it until we got back here and came across a community that's very active and very enthusiastic and very welcoming too. So that's what we're looking forward to.
Ryan, how would they find you directly?
So our last name's Famulari, which I don't think there's
Spell
many.
that, please.
It's Famulari. And I don't think there's many, so we're not like Smith here. So if you just Google Ryan Famulari, I think all my socials will come up. But yeah, feel free, any students listening, feel free to reach out if you have any questions about filmmaking, our journey. We're always so, excited to help out and just kind of give any advice that we could give, any help to someone who may end up being, the next Steven Spielberg. We'd love to help you out.
And one more shout out, of course, to your fantastic film.
Thank you.
Best Man, for listeners who may have tuned in midway, Best Man was written, stars, directed by, well, my guests that are here today. And it is an honor and a joy to welcome you both here. It is an honor to welcome you back, and hopefully you'll come back again.
Sure.
If there are any listeners with any questions, or you want to find out more, you want to connect, or for my fellow instructors here at Stony Brook, if you want to invite them to your 101 class, please reach out to me at kathleen.valerio@stonybrook.edu. Anthony and Ryan, it has been an absolute honor to host you here on SBU's Community Corner. This is Kate Valerio signing off for WUSB 90.1 and 107.3 FM.